close to home in the West Bloomfield area and really all throughout all four of our communities now. Residents are able to drop off hazardous waste from within their homes to West Bloomfield Town Hall twice a year in order to get rid of these materials in a way that is safe for both themselves and for the environment. The next household hazardous waste event drop-off happens on Friday of this week, April 12th for seniors, and Saturday, April 13th for all other residents of the Greater West Bloomfield area at the West Bloomfield Town Hall complex. Joining us to talk about this year's household hazardous waste event for the spring is the executive assistant to the West Bloomfield Township Supervisor, Kris D'Arcy. Kris, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you on as we preview the household hazardous waste event. And for a number of years, this has been something that residents in West Bloomfield have been really excited about twice a year because it gives them an opportunity to get rid of some materials from within their home that otherwise could be really dangerous to dispose of. So take us through the household hazardous waste event, and for those that maybe are unfamiliar with this, what it's all about.
Sure, yeah. So twice per year, once in the fall and once in the spring, we have an event, the Household Hazardous Waste event. It runs on Saturdays from 9 to noon, and then on the Friday evening prior, it will be from 4 to 6 p.m. And that's usually for seniors, 62 and older. But yeah, it's an opportunity for residents to get rid of their batteries or light bulbs or fertilizers and paint, gasoline, any electronic waste, anything that they have that they want to rid themselves of that normally would not be acceptable in the regular trash.
And that's what's really the key point of this is that this is the kind of stuff that if you were to just throw it in your trash receptacle, put it at the end of your driveway, look, it could end up in a landfill and it could end up having some harmful effects on our environment. And so with the township collecting this, how does that make that process different? Who are you working with in order to make sure that these materials are in fact getting disposed of safely?
Yeah, so we contract with ERG Environmental, and they are professionals in this arena. They know specifically how to get rid of the hazardous materials in the proper way so that they don't pose any sort of risk. So yeah, we contract with them each year, and they take care of everything for us at these annual events, twice annual events. Yeah, they're very good at what they do. They're professionals. So they last year, I believe they took 103, almost 104,000 pounds worth of hazardous materials and electronic waste from our events last year.
More information on the household hazardous waste event happening Friday for seniors 62 and older across our four communities, and Saturday for residents of the Greater West Bloomfield communities can be found on wbtownship.org. And again, those dates coming up: Friday, April 12th at Town Hall from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. That is for senior drop-off only. And then Saturday morning, 9 a.m. until 12 noon at the Town Hall complex. That's for everybody else in our four communities. Kris, as people are getting prepared for this, how should they best go about preparing to bring their materials in? What do they need to know before they get to Town Hall so that they can smoothly get through the process and drop off these hazardous materials for a proper disposal?
Yeah, Tyler. So what we recommend people do is that they just either box up their materials or just stack them in the back of their vehicle as best they can. As you drive through the complex, and there's usually a short line, unfortunately, but that's because it's so popular, and we appreciate that. So many residents are willing to participate in this. But what we request is that they put their materials in the back of the vehicle. The electronic waste is the very last stop. So if they want to leave, the last things to load could be their televisions, laptops, whatever, VCRs, whatever they happen to be wanting to get rid of that way. What we request is that they just stay in their vehicle. They'll pull up when it's their turn. We will have plenty of staff on site to direct them to which lane to go into. They'll just unlock their vehicle, and the staff here will actually unload the items from their vehicle. They do not have to leave their vehicle. They don't have to lift a thing once everything has been loaded into their vehicle initially.
Now, Kris D'Arcy is with us from the West Bloomfield Township Supervisor's office as we preview their twice annual Household Hazardous Waste event. The spring edition of that for the 2023-24 year is coming up this Friday and Saturday. Friday night is senior drop-off from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., ages 62 and older. Saturday, that's for the rest of the residents of the Greater West Bloomfield area from 9 a.m. until 12 noon. More information on wbtownship.org. And Kris, I mentioned that this is open to residents of the Greater West Bloomfield community. That's kind of a broader term, and this has been expanded, this event and its availability to members of our local area in recent years. So who is eligible to drop off these materials, and as they're getting prepared to bring those materials in, what else do they need to be prepared to bring in to make sure they get into the line and get these materials dropped off?
Yeah, so we sign contracts, with intercommunity contracts with, the city of Orchard Lake Village, with Kego Harbor, and also Sylvan Lake. So those residents are welcome to participate. We just request that they have their driver's license with them, that the officers will be checking licenses to make sure that you are either a West Bloomfield Township resident or that you are one of a resident of one of the other three communities. So that's how we maintain the integrity of the event, make sure that everybody is allowed to attend, and those that are not permitted are not permitted through the line.
And you can find more information on this from your local communities as well, not only from West Bloomfield Township, but anything else that you may need to know from the City of Orchard Lake Village at cityoforchardlake.com, from Kego Harbor at kegoharbor.org, or Sylvan Lake from them at sylvanlake.org. But all the general information about this household hazardous waste event happening on Friday and Saturday can be found on wbtownship.org. And they're going to have another one of these events coming up later on this year. Their fall event will be happening in September. So, Kris, if people do miss this event, not only do they have that available to them in September, but we talked about this a little while ago also. There is some additional availability for residents of West Bloomfield in particular, for them to be able to drop off materials outside of this household hazardous waste event with one of your contractors.
Yes, that's correct. ERG Environmental, which is the company that we contract with to do these events, is also the same company we contract with starting this year, as this is brand new. But West Bloomfield Township residents only, for this portion of it, can throughout the year, if they have items that they don't want to wait on until the next, whenever the next event is, they can gather up their electronic waste or their household hazardous materials and take them to ERG. Of course, they do have to stop into the town hall building here to obtain a voucher prior to their visit. But other than that, once you have the voucher, which is free, you just make your plans to go visit them at ERG in Livonia.
Kris D'Arcy with us from West Bloomfield Township Supervisor's office as we get ready for household hazardous waste happening Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. for seniors across our four communities. You've got to be a Greater West Bloomfield resident, West Bloomfield, Kego Harbor, Orchard Lake Village, Sylvan Lake, 62 years and older for Friday night drop-off at Town Hall in West Bloomfield, or Saturday, April 13th from 9 a.m. until 12 noon. Any residents, including seniors and those of all ages across the four communities, are welcome to come over to West Bloomfield Town Hall on Walnut Lake Road, just west of our campus here at Civic Center TV. The Town Hall complex is going to be where this drop-off is going to happen. You will line up your cars along their drive-through to get in and out of there and drop off all of your materials. And Kris, because of that, traffic also a concern as we go into the weekend. From your coordination with the West Bloomfield Police Department, what should residents expect, especially now that in the last couple of years this has been expanded to residents of 4 different cities and townships?
It is, yes, it's a popular event. I know the line can get a little bit frustrating. There will be more than likely a line up for this event, and a lot of times the cars will line up along along Walnut Lake Road, along Walnut Lake Road all the way to Orchard Lake Road and possibly beyond. Sometimes I think it's helpful if the residents come from the other angle, from, say, Farmington Road, and make a left into the complex. That might be a shorter line. I can't guarantee it, but just pack your patience because it is a popular event. But once the event opens, it actually moves pretty quickly. So the lines do, run through fairly efficiently.
Yeah, all the more reason to have your materials ready in proper order as you're going through that, with electronics being the last to unload, as Kris mentioned earlier on, and to make sure as you're entering the town hall complex, you have your ID ready that will prove your residency of Keagle Harbor, Orchard Lake Village, Sylvan Lake, or the Charter Township of West Bloomfield. More information on what you need for household hazardous waste, including acceptable materials, can be found on wbtownship.org, or visit your local city website for even more information. Kris, before we let you go, anything else that people should know about this particular household hazardous waste event coming up on Friday and Saturday of this week, or how they can learn more information for future events involving our 4 communities?
Yeah, you can always, like you mentioned, you can always visit our website for more information or give us a call here at Town Hall. wbtownship.org, of course, that's our website here. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing everybody. We love this event. It's one of our most popular events, and a lot of people take advantage of it each year. So it's really just a great event.
There are a list of materials that are accepted and those that are not accepted available on wbtownship.org. Just a few examples. Accepted hazardous waste includes antifreeze, ammonia, fluorescent tubes, maybe your lights, old gasoline or kerosene, light bulbs, in those electronics, keyboards, mouses, DVDs and VCRs. Some materials that are not accepted are old air conditioning units, appliances are not accepted, any explosives are, of course, would not be accepted, tires, styrofoam, and many other materials. So to find that full list, wbtownship.org. Kris, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you, Tyler.